My name is Chrissy Romani Ruby, and this is Zach. And today we're filming from PHI Pilates Studio in Pittsburgh. I'd like to show you some exercises today that I use with my athletes to help to lengthen IT band and control the gluteus medius for external rotation. So we're going to look at those large global muscles and how they work together. And as you know, if that iliotibial band becomes very powerful and strong, we'll see that the gluteus medius can no longer fire. And we'll see that they're not able to outward rotate, instead they inward rotate. And that IT band becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. And we begin to see problems at the knee or at the foot, where we see pronation or we see a tear of the ACL. So we want to try to keep that balanced, and this exercise will help you do that. It's called frog. So Zach, let's go ahead and have you lie down on your back. I have the reformer set on a red and a blue. This is not one where you want to have a lot of tension, basically something where they feel like they're pushing. Zach's going to put his feet into the long loops. So we're going to have that right along the long arch, and then we're going to look for him to be centered on the carriage, and he'll bring his feet right up and bring his heels together. So Zach, I'm going to move just a little bit to your left. With your hips? Good. Okay. So we want to look for that neutral pelvis. We're thinking of that front triangle, the ascius and the pubic bone, all being level. And we're going to keep that level throughout the motion. The movement is actually going to be a frog. But as you can see, Zach is a little short in his iliotibial band. So when we bring his heels together, it's really hard for him to hold a neutral pelvis, and he has to keep his legs kind of low. So we're going to use the Pilates ring to help him out. Hold the Pilates ring between the ankles, and we want it to be right below the medial malleoli. And you want to try not to squeeze the ring. If you see the ring squeezed, then you know if it's not round, they're squeezing with their adductors. We want them to loosen up a little bit and just hold the ring, not kill it, so that we're using the outward hip rotators rather than the adductors to hold the ring. Also, keep the ring off of the Achilles tendon. So we're in turnout, but we're holding the ring more with the front of the tibia side than the Achilles side. And then with the feet, we want to keep a nice V and keep reaching through the big toe side. So you don't have to dorsiflex or anything, you just have to kind of reach, so you're pulling back a little bit with the fifth metatarsal. So Zach is going to use an exhale as he pulls in with his hip flexors. So exhale, and he pulls in, you're going to move the carriage right away. Did you notice how his carriage didn't move right away? Now we're going to push up toward my hand. Inhale as you push up and out. Good. Exhale as you pull in. Good. And if the carriage moves, we're going to know that he's using his glute max. So you're going to push up and out. If they use their quadriceps, the carriage isn't going to move so quickly. Exhale and pull in now from the hip flexors. Good. So the cue I'll give the athlete is to push, push. Good. Now pull. Think of the underwear line and pull. Yeah. See how much better the motion gets now? Just with the idea of push and pull. Great. Really good. And when they push out, we do want them to fully extend the knee, turn on the VMO. Everyone's afraid to do that. We're okay here. One more, Zach. We're going to pull in and exhale. Good. And inhale as we push out. So one of the unique things about this exercise is that it's not closed chain and it's not open chain. It's kind of in between chain, right? So it's a perfect rehabilitation exercise. It's that perfect bridge between the closed chain activity that you do right after surgery to the open chain activity that they need to do many times with their sports. Okay? Now we're going to go into a more difficult exercise. You're going to go ahead and exhale as you come into your frog, Zach, and try to hold your neutral pelvis. Now his goal is to hold the carriage still and try to slide the ring straight up a wall. And you'll see he's going to have to lengthen his hamstrings and in an outwardly rotated position. So that's challenging. There goes the shake. Good. And the legs are going to press down and the carriage moves. So it's a circle. We're going to frog in and the carriage moves. Exhale. Good. And as you inhale, just slide up the wall. Try to hold your carriage still. Knees are going to open a little bit. Good. And then press down. And then we repeat it in the other direction. We're going to come up and hip flexion, legs straight, carriage moves. Now hold the carriage still, put pressure in the loops, and come down in your frog. The pressure in the loops is the key, keeps the pelvic floor on. Good. And then push up and out in your frog. Good. One more time. You're going to exhale as you come up. Zach's starting to shake. Good. And we're going to peel down. The shake is good. We're going to come down, holding the carriage still. Good. And press your way out and move your carriage. Very good. Okay, I'll steal that ring. Now bring your heels together, Zach. So all of these can be done with the heels together once they've become more flexible in their IT band. So with Zach, I would start with the ring to make it possible for him, but over time I might even put a small ball in there and start to shrink the space between his legs until I can finally get his heels together. Okay, you can go ahead and come out of your loops. So this exercise has a lot of ability in building balance through the pelvis. So if you have someone that has had knee surgery or has a medial collapse in their squats, this is a good way to build the balance that's going to create a good stable knee. Also great for pronation because we're going to lift up in the pelvic floor. So either of those two problems would be great reasons to use this exercise as well. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope to see you for the next podcast.